This episode of Snug Wrestling is sponsored by Aquila. All right, if you're tired of flimsy sunglasses that look the same as everyone else's, check out Aquila. These are handcrafted, limited-run shades straight out of Los Angeles, made from 50% recycled materials like plant-based cellulose acetate and titanium. They've got UV-blocking sun lenses, blue light options, and even prescription lenses, all built to last and look clean. Plus, Aquila's serious about sustainability. They're a member of the nonprofit organization 1% for the Planet, and that means 1% of every sale is donated to reputable environmental organizations around the globe. And because you listen to Snug Wrestling, you get an exclusive 10% off any order with the code SNUG at checkout. And full transparency, when you use that code, we earn a small commission, but it helps keeps the show rolling and gives you top tier eyewear in return. So go to aquila.la and level up your look and responsibly feel amazing while wearing them. Again, that is Aquila, AKILA.LA. Use the code SNUG, SNUG at checkout for 10% off any order. And don't forget to head on over to our tpublic/snugwrestling.com for your Snug Wrestling merchandise, all on Black Friday sales store-wide for over 40 different great, amazing wrestling designs inspired by some of your favorite professional wrestling characters and your favorite pals here at Snug Wrestling. So check out aquila.la and tpublic/snugwrestling.com.
What's good, everybody? Welcome back to the Snug Wrestling Podcast. I am Edgar. I'm the host. We're going to be going over Survivor Series that just took place in San Diego Petco Park, WarGames 2025, and there's already people in the comments saying it was dog shit. There's going to be a lot of mixed reactions when it comes to this WarGames because we got new champions, we got major returns, we got a mystery person showing up, and we got all kinds of stuff here from this Survivor Series. But before we get into it, how was everyone's Thanksgiving?
Mine was good, not as great. For those of you who don't know, I've been off the show dealing with a really bad bout of vertigo. If you've ever had vertigo, you know it is a condition that hijacks your entire equilibrium and throws off your body's ability to instinctively balance itself. So it's like getting the spins that literally don't end for a couple of weeks straight, and you're confined to your bed. So it's great to be back on the show. I have missed you guys so much. I have missed wrestling. I have missed Snug Wrestling. And Thanksgiving, though the food was great, I was very dizzy during it. And no, I did not have any spiked eggnog like my wife. But I did eat my weight, 222 pounds of full man weight in deviled eggs. So we're in the holiday season. Snug Wrestling's kicking off to cap off this year. And man, I'm excited to enter my favorite part of the year, Christmas season, and to enter it with all of you guys.
It's honestly great. Thanksgiving itself, fantastic. My only issue is the fact that here in Illinois, it has decided to be cold as fuck and started to snow. So Illinois weather's a bitch. But other than that, let's just get into it.
Yeah, Tommy, me and you are in the same boat here in Texas. It's cold as fuck, but it's just not snowing because, I mean, we only get snow once in a blue moon. So my Thanksgiving was good, even though I did it the day afterwards. So, yeah.
Well, good to have everyone back. Welcome back to Mr. Blood. And, you know, he's not feeling 100%, but he's still here with us. And we're going to go over Survivor Series, 4 matches, right? That was what's on the card. And that was good enough, man. The show didn't really feel like it took forever. And some of the matches were better than I guess I expected, specifically the one with Nikki Bella and Stephanie Vaquer, which we'll get into. But it was reported before the show that the Women's WarGames was going to kick things off. And we talked about this one before. This was like one of the matches that we were like, it doesn't really matter who wins this one, because the way that it was kind of put together. I mean, they had some stuff going on with Charlotte not wanting to be a part of the War Games and then ended up being a part of it. And you have Lash Legend who's new. So it was cool to see her highlighted in a big PLE War Games. You know, someone new, someone fresh, from NXT who's next up and coming. She looked really good in this. And you had all the crazy spots with Io Sky, which are kind of expected, right? And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, they gave this win to the babyface team. Rhea Ripley's team ended up winning this match. But what stood out to you guys about the opening match?
I thought it was better than last year's. Last year's felt extremely sluggish. A lot of spots where they just kept pausing and holding and waiting to get their timing down. I still think the best women's War Games match was probably 2023. The one that's famous for Charlotte and Becky being on the same side again and famously like hugging in the ring to an insane pop from the crowd. I thought that one was amazing. I thought last year's was probably the worst of the three. This one I definitely think was better. This one's number 2 for me as far as women's War Games matches. Here's my problem, and I think maybe some of you guys might agree with me here as to why I won't be as high on the first 2 matches. The broadcast connection or Netflix or something or whatever was absolute dog shit. I mean, it was so hard to stay invested when it was so fuzzy. There were moments that I was trying to make out. I couldn't get the emotional reactions from any of the women because their faces were blurry. In the chat, we were talking about, how Charlotte Flair's outfit was amazing and paying homage to somebody. Here's a problem. On my end, I couldn't tell who the fuck she was paying homage to because it was so blurry for the entire duration of this match. I could not even make out her gear. I had to actually wait until it was a commercial break and WWE had posted on their own TikTok channel Rhea's actual gear from her entrance. I actually got to see it clearly because I didn't on her entrance. So a lot of my enthusiasm for the match took a nosedive right off the bat. I thought that it was a very well put together match. I didn't see, honestly, any issues, botches. Last year, there was a slew of them, and it was honestly a little hard to get through last year's women's War Game. This one, things that stood out to me, Io, of course, every time she gets up and does that trash can dive, all I can think of is this is one of the bravest women I've ever seen to take a front flip, 15, 20 foot jump where she can't actually see where she's going. And you just got to hope that they're in the right position to stop your fall. So always hats off to her. Loved the Rhea giving an electric chair piggyback ride to AJ to get the trash can up. You just hear, "Do you want my help?" "Yes, please." And just lifts her up. I thought that was sweet. I loved Io jumping on Rhea at the end. There's a lot of the stuff that stood out to me was really more of the feel good stuff, like where they were just like sweet moments between the wrestlers. I love that they highlighted Lash Legend, putting some respect on some of these NXT call-ups now, right? And I hope they maintain that. I can definitely see that they're going to build her relationship with Nia for her to get sick of Nia's bullshit maybe and turn her face after they build her up. But all in all, hard for me to say I enjoyed the opening match. I didn't hate it, but it had nothing to do with the women in the ring. It was because the broadcast was killing my vibe.
Yeah, I just loved this match. I mean, it doesn't beat War Games 2023 for the women for me because I absolutely loved that PLE in general. But I just like this match. Everywhere from the custom trash can lid and trash can for Io, Rhea cosplaying, I guess you could say, Art the Clown, Charlotte's homage to a girl with cancer. I thought that was pretty freaking sweet. But just the match in general was amazing. All the spots were amazing, and I actually like was talking to Tommy in the chat, like saying, okay, I think this is who's gonna come out. And then as soon as they didn't come out when I thought they were gonna, I'm like, okay, that's surprising. And I like a match that does that. But there's like a few tiny issues that I don't really remember because I'm tired as hell. But yeah.
My biggest issue about this match, I loved it overall, but my biggest issue was something that wasn't there. The shark cages. The entirety with that is the fact that that brings up so much visual drama inside of those shark cages. One of the biggest moments from last year's War Games was Punk trying to come out of the cage and Roman immediately stopping him with one arm. So those not being there kind of like dropped it for me because of the fact that the visual drama was gone at that point. I mean, I liked the whole thing of, oh, we don't know who's coming out when. It's not like we knew the order anyways. So overall, the order could have gone any direction, and the cages could have still been in play for them to still be there. But Charlotte's gear, absolutely loved it. I love the fact that Rhea went from a Back for Blood mask last year, which I thought until I got a clearer view of it was the mask that she wore tonight. And then the screen actually got a whole lot clearer. And I saw that it was Art the Clown. I'm like, oh, hell yeah, that's awesome. But other than that, I don't really have any other issues with this match.
Yeah, I completely forgot about the shark cages because it didn't really make a difference to me. Like I saw a lot of people were really upset about that, but I don't think it really mattered a whole lot. Do we even know why they did that? Was it because the stage was smaller, or just
I think it's probably going to be because I was wondering where the hell they were too, but I think it's going to be probably because the way they had to set the arena up, and also I don't know, how do you last year they were all in those cages and they were a little cramped in there trying to keep to their own corners. How do you keep 5 people and 2 of them the size of, like, how do you keep Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, Brock Lesnar all in the same cage at the same time? And then you shove Drew in there, and then you shove Logan. Like, everybody's going to be chest pressed to a bar, you know? Like, so I think maybe it was more for them not having to either spend the money to make bigger cages, because let's be honest, the size of those men is just not visually appealing in that kind of space. And it was probably because the way they had to set up the arena. So, but I don't think it mattered that much either, but I do agree with Tommy where I do think that there is extra emotion you get, that drama, the storytelling they can build up in the cage with, like, the, you know, Punk trying to leave out of the cage, and then just last year Roman just blocks him. And you're like, no, you're not going nowhere. You know, like, and then that builds up that animosity. So, but yeah, was it needed? Nah. Is it a nice little bonus? Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't hate it either because I'm like, fuck, at least we don't have to sit through everyone's entrance in one sitting, you know, like we got one person come out, the other person came out, and then the match started. You know, we don't have to sit through all 10 of these people's entrances either, you know.
I mean, I'm not going to lie to you though. One thing that has nothing to do with this match, but it's just something that was persistent for me throughout the show. You had said at the start of the episode here that, you know, it didn't feel like a long show. I disagree. I felt like this show dragged. I swear there was a moment where we had a 6.5 minute "we'll be right back" thing just on the screen. For those of you who weren't on VPNs like us, who refused to pay $30 a month for ESPN, me and Snug personally were both in Canada on a VPN, and it was on "We Will Be Right Back" for 6.5 minutes straight. And then it came back from that, went straight to 2 ads, then came back to Michael to an advert for like fucking Xfinity, where these 2 awkward people were standing there to get a seat upgrade. Then it went to showing them in the crowd. Then it went to Michael Cole and Wade at commentary. And then it went to the entrances to get into the match. And I was like, dude, what is the pacing here? Like,
yeah, in that sense, yeah, you're right about that.
Every match felt like it took 10 to 15 or more minutes to get between the by the time the men's WarGames match started, it had been 18 minutes since Stephanie Vaquer and Nikki Bella had ended. 18. That is insane.
Yeah, no, you're right. When it comes to that, yes, they do take forever. Like, they were milking this thing. Like, I guess when I said it didn't really feel like it dragged, I think I was referring to like mostly the matches, like the Nikki Bella and Stephanie Vaquer one.
That's fair. The matches, I feel like the matches were all very well paced. All of them equally, surprisingly. I thought they were all well paced. It was just the setup of getting in between them was like, what are we doing? Like, did we need this stupid advert for the New Day advertising a WWE mobile game for 2.5 straight awkward minutes? Like, I mean, it was just like, dude, if anything, throw us to some, backstage interviews or have like a set, like something else. But like, dude, 18 minutes in between 2 matches just so you can milk to get to 3 hours and 15 minutes of a show is stupid as hell. This could have been this could have been a 2.5 hour show.
Yeah, easily. And I kept track of the time, like from the moment it went on air live on Netflix. It was exactly at 4 p.m. my time because, I'm Pacific. And the bell time was 12 minutes after the hour. So we had the intro, we had the video package, we had the entrances, and it took forever for the fucking actual wrestling to start, and that was kind of annoying.
You had Michael Cole and Wade Barrett advertising those old school 80s beat up toys, like for like just sitting there playing with them on the announcer desk for 2 minutes. I was like, can we get to the program? Like,
yeah. And then I started seeing like the entrances. I'm like, oh my God, we're going to sit through all 10 of these fucking entrances. And then they're like, no, just a reminder, we don't have the shark cages like we usually do. So I'm like, okay, well, at least that's good.
Even if they have the shark cages, like, honestly, I know that they want to make big deals out of the big stars and give them their moments to hype the crowds individually. Cause you want like those sing along moments with like Punk, and you want the yeeting with Uso and like stuff like that. But I mean, can you just have them do shortened versions of their entrances then, like they do it like the Rumble, or when like they're doing like 5-on-5 tag matches where their entrance ends halfway down the ring or some shit? Just do their quick, cool stage shit and get them in the fucking shark cage, like,
yeah, just to get the pop or something.
Yeah, that's it. Like, pop and move.
Yeah.
But I digress.
But yeah. That was the opening match for this 2025 WarGames, for the women at least. And then we go to John Cena versus Dominic Mysterio. Goddamn, what a fucking crazy ass roller coaster ride this was. Because we kind of expected a lot of crazy shit was going to happen in this match. This is Cena's second to last match. And Cena's last, like, the matches he's had in his retirement tour, like, something crazy always happens. Like, they're getting the most out of this Cena retirement tour. They had they paid all the homage on his previous matches, and like a lot of great good feel moments. So I was expecting a lot from this match, and we got way more than what we expected, because it was fucking awesome. Dom comes out and he's accompanied by Raquel and Roxanne. And I'm like, man, that they're going to get involved. It's going to be, shenanigans, right? And they did. They were getting involved behind the referee's back. Dom was doing his damnest to find any way possible to get the upper hand on John Cena. The spot that they did where he did the Hurricane Rana on the floor, and it looked like, he landed pretty badly. It looked like they botched it, but it looked like so good. It looks so real. Everyone believed it in the arena. It got really quiet at some point. As people were like, oh shit, he really fucked himself up, especially after what happened with Penta, which is the same thing that happened with him. You know, Penta got hurt, the match was called off. So the people in the arena were worried, and Dom was selling it, and I bought it. And I'm like, man, that's gonna suck if he really goes out like this, he can't finish the match on Cena's second to last match. That is just the worst. But nope, it was a swerve, bro. Dom fooled us all. He fooled the ref. He fooled Cena. He fooled everybody. But the referee didn't count. So the match continues. It's not over. Okay. Then we get the big Liv return. Okay, cool. Liv is back. Is she going to help Dom? Is she going to help Cena? And they fooled us again. Liv tries to slap Dom, but completely missed it. I'm like, what the hell? That was weird. But no, it was all part of the plan. Liv came back to help Dom. She low-blowed Cena. Dom takes advantage. Dom retains in his fucking hometown of San Diego. He won back the Intercontinental Champion. Sorry, not retained, but he won it back. So the Intercontinental Champion is back where it belongs with the greatest luchador of all time.
The match, though I loved their first one on Raw a few weeks back, this one definitely was that with a full middle and then an end. I'd like to take note of something here, because people are gonna be like, oh, they just popped it on Cena to get the record, and then they just had him lose it like that out of nowhere. Here's the thing. Let me explain something to you. In order: Frog Splash, Tahana Bomb, Pop Rocks, a failed moonsault, but then a failed coup de grace. Then this man gets hit with another freaking frog splash, low blow, title smack, frog splash. It took 8 attempts with 2 failed finishes, but 6 actual connected finishes to take Cena down. I think, though he lost it, completely protected in the finish. It took 6 finishes to actually get him done. 2 that missed, but 6 that actually worked. Here's the thing. Match was great. Match was fun. Liv is back. Thank God the women's division can get back on track. Oh, God. Because when we get to the next match, I already texted you what I got to say. But I thought the crowd loved it. The crowd enjoyed it. The Dom spot, dude, I bought it for a good 45 seconds. I really did. And then I was like, well, wait, they're not cutting away. And then I was like, okay, this has got to be a sell. And man, super convincing work on Dom. Extremely great convinced reaction from Cena, the ref. I just love that the ref took getting tricked personally. That's what I love. He's like, I ain't counting this fucking pin. Fuck that shit. You get the fuck out of here. And great finish, great match. Although the wrong guy won, in my opinion, because it should have stayed on Cena, and I'll tell you why. And I've said it before, and we've said this before, but for those that are uninitiated in this line of thinking, whomever it is that takes the title off of Cena, or sorry, whoever takes Cena's last match and beats him, that win was already going to mean a lot for whoever did that, because you will go down in history as the guy who retired him. It would have meant that much more, though it didn't need it. It would have meant that much more if the person who beat him also won the IC championship off him as well, because it would have been a double rocket push. You're a new champion and you're the guy that retired Cena. Now you have 2 things on your resume to boast going into the new year, into WrestleMania season. So I think they should have left the title on him. If they're smart, it'll be LA Knight that he has his final match with. If it is what the reports say, it being Gunther, then I understand why they took the title off of him, because they don't want to put it straight back on Gunther, who's already in the main event, already been a world heavyweight champion twice in the last year. You're not trying to put him straight back into the mid card on the IC title run. And that's probably what it really is. They know that it's Gunther he's facing last, and they did not want to have a title involved where they'd have to force themselves to move Gunther down in the bracket.
Oh, this match. I don't even know where this goes on the match of the night, because there was just the only bad match in my opinion was Stephanie versus Nikki, and just I don't even know where it goes because I liked this match, but I had issues. Like, I mean, the whole Liv tricking us at home and in the arena that, oh, she turned on Dom, but really turned on no one and just helped Dom. But I don't know why that's an issue for me, but it is. Hold on 1 second.
Go ahead, Tommy.
I will say I absolutely love this match. Liv recovered faster than we thought she would, because none of us were really expecting her until Rumble season. So she definitely recovered a whole lot faster than we all thought she would. The eyes right before that below the belt kick. I saw that. I'm like, well, hey, Cena, those eyes look familiar, because they were definitely yours right before you did the same thing to Cody. So
I just
that in
realized that.
itself, absolutely great. I still love the fact that Liv is back, because, hopefully this means that the Judgment Day will disband here soon. Holy crap. Because now that Liv is back, what this means is that she will inevitably have a problem with Roxanne Perez being in the clubhouse, and that will eventually disband them for a third fucking time. So hopefully this will finally be the end of the Judgment Day, and they all can go their separate ways.
Yeah, that's what I'm most excited about. Aside from the women's division finally having a star player that it's sorely needed on Raw back in it. This is such a weird thing. She's finally back, so we can finally have the Judgment Day break the fuck up. Finally. Like, that's such a weird thing to be happy about, but shit was supposed to happen like 4.5 months ago. So it's like, thank God we can finally tell that story. And watch them drag that shit out till like fucking WrestleMania. I hope to God not, but please. But Toxic, did you have any final thoughts to finish before you stepped away?
I mean, just no, and just thank God that Liv's back, because women's division on Raw desperately needed her. And yeah, it's just that. It's just mainly Liv being back is such an amazing thing.
Yeah, I love this match, man. I loved everything about here, Dom versus Cena. All the shenanigans, the outcome. It was lovely, man. It was so fucking enjoyable to watch. The third match of the night was the Women's World's Champion, Stephanie Vaquer versus Nikki Bella. This was a match that I was not really looking forward to. And it was a lot better than I thought, man. Even I enjoyed Nikki as a heel in this match because she didn't really do anything that looked ridiculous or insulting, in my opinion. Like, the counters that she was doing made sense, you know, like Stephanie Vaquer would like try to get her for the devil's kiss and try to roll Nikki Bella out to the apron. But what does Nikki Bella do? She grabs the ropes, and I'm like, okay, that makes sense, you know, stuff like that. Yeah, I liked it. I liked it. They worked well together. And I'm surprised to say that because of how much we shitted on this match, like going into it, like, oh my God, why do we have to see Nikki Bella? And I actually enjoyed this match, which I did not think I was gonna like at all whatsoever. But I was pretty happy with it, man. Stephanie Vaquer won, she retained. But yeah, man, I liked it.
Yeah, I'm still on the boat where I'm like, why did we have to see this match? But I will say it was better than Nikki versus Becky and that wasn't a high bar. Okay. I mean, that bar was so high an ant could barely limbo under it. That's how high the bar for Nikki versus Becky was. In other words, it was low as fuck to the ground. My shadow almost couldn't creep under it. But literally, aside from the fact they had definitely seemed throughout the match, they were in and out of communication and some missed timings, especially that spot where Nikki gets thrown to the turnbuckle, the top left corner. Stephanie goes to run at her, and Nikki throws the boot up to stop her. Stephanie just runs into it, doesn't sell it. In fact, she seemed confused that she had to sell it, and then she just stopped, slowly just turned and looked at Nikki, and they awkwardly stared at each other for 6 seconds. They were like, wait, what were we supposed to do again? Oh, yeah. And then there was another part where Nikki had rolled back or gotten back in the ring, and Stephanie was on the apron, and she looked like she was about to set up for a springboard. She leaned down, crouched down on the rope, went to hop up, and then stopped because Nikki's all the way over here on the ropes facing hard cam, still selling, not looking at her. So she said, fuck it, got back in the ring and ran, and then just ate a spine buster. And I was like, did you guys talk about what you were going to do in the match at a time? It seems like you guys are not on the same page. And then there was a point in the match, the second Devil's Kiss, that before the final finish, where Nikki seemed to be selling the Devil's Kiss in a way that genuinely looked like it pissed Stephanie off, where she was stomach flat on the ground, flopping like a fish, didn't have her knees up, wasn't banging the mat like everybody else does to sell the count for the audience to count along with. And when Stephanie lets her go and stands up, she looks around and rolls her eyes and legitimately looks frustrated. She's like that, just grimaced. And I was like, damn, okay, she must feel like Nikki. I think that Stephanie genuinely in that moment felt like Nikki was sandbagging her. And it's just y'all let's get over this. I will say one thing before I get to the main point here. They got to change Stephanie's finish because that is weak as fuck. I'm sorry. The SPV or whatever they call it, where it's just whatever. It's just a fucking drop on your, it's like a pump handle or a tiger pump handle into a knee into your back. That's a finish. That's knocking me out, guys. I've been getting dropped on the back all match. It looks weak as fuck. It's a terrible finish. She needs to change it. But I texted this to you in the match. I finally figured out what my problem with this entire Nikki Bella return has been. I finally figured it out. They copy and pasted exactly what they did with Trish Stratus on her return, and they just gave it to Nikki. Hall of Famer, women's Hall of Famer, who was the head of her division after having a record-breaking reign in her division during her prime, returns. Sides with an up-and-coming star or a star that's already there and teams with her. They get overrun by heels, and they team up and have a multi-woman's tag match where they are on each other's side and they kiss each other's ass for weeks. And then finally, that Hall of Fame veteran turns heel on the very person she's been helping and friends with and trying to get over, and then has a match for her championship. Sound familiar? So my problem is that the reason I don't like Nikki's run is that it's been boring because I just saw it 2 years ago with Trish. And I finally figured out that's my problem with this whole run. They had no idea or plan for her when Liv went out on injury. So they just gave her what they gave Trish. I'm taking back the division that was stolen from me.
I saw a completely different match than you did, Mr. Blood, it seems like.
I'm not saying the match was bad. I thought the match was wrestled well, but mostly on Stephanie's side. I think Nikki definitely did very well with the veteran instincts, with her countering, her reversing, but they seemed out of tune with each other on and off throughout the match.
Like that moment that you speak of when Stephanie Vaquero was going for the what is it called, where she jumps off the ropes, the springboard dive or whatever.
Oh, that was fantastic. Yes.
No, but to me, when you said that Nikki Bella was not in the position for it.
No, not that. No, that I'm talking about earlier in the match where she got off the ropes. Nikki
Mhm.
goes halfway across the ring to hard cam on the ropes and keeps selling. Stephanie, when she's getting away from her, was literally on the ropes like this, setting up to do a springboard, went for a hop, went back down, went like, oh shit, and then just went, okay, and awkwardly got back in the ring,
That
ran up
spot
and
right there, that moment, the way that I read it was Nikki Bella saw it coming, and she did what any smart heel would do and just get the fuck out of the way because
that would
no
make
shit.
sense. That would make sense if Nikki was even looking at her. She sold with her back to her the entire time.
Yeah, I mean that's how I read it, and I'm like, I mean it just makes sense, you know. But
It would, and you're right. It would make sense if she had made eye contact with her. But when she knocked her back onto the apron, she walked away, facing away from her the entire time, and then stared at hard cam while she sold. While Stephanie was trying to set up for the springboard, she never looked at her.
And then I liked how they did the devil's kiss on the announce table
That was awesome.
because they zoomed in on it, and because the announce table is like it's just a lot harder, I bet, than the actual ring. It sounded bad. It sounded like, and it kind of looked like, holy shit, Nikki's head is bouncing off that fucking thing. I'm like,
yeah, I felt
damn,
bad
she fucked her up.
I felt bad for Stephanie's knees, but honestly, I thought that sell was great because I liked that Nikki dropped her arms. There was only twice where she popped her hands off and then she stopped. She didn't know I should play dead here, and then dropped them down and then was kind of ragdolling herself like she had gotten beat up, but she kept her ass up in the air the entire time. When she got in the ring for the second one, she looked like she was flat stomaching it, and Stephanie looked like she felt Nikki was sandbagging her. And if you go back and watch Nikki or Stephanie's face twice, she looked fucking pissed off at the way Nikki was selling it. So it was
I didn't see that.
I don't know. Tommy, did you see that? Anybody else?
Let's go to Toxic. Toxic, what do you think about this match?
Like I said, I already didn't like this match, not because just it was badly wrestled or it was just I just didn't like it. It just felt boring to me. Like we already knew that. I mean, they're not gonna give it to Nikki Bella because screw Nikki Bella. I'm kidding. But they're just not gonna give it to Nikki Bella because I mean Stephanie Vaquer is obviously the one that you would want to be the champion out of this because she could do a lot more. Unlike Nikki Bella, that would probably the next week after go on Raw. It looked like crap, and then they make it drop. They make her drop it back. So, I mean, it's just that's the only reason I didn't like the match. The match itself was good. I saw all the spots that Blood did, and I agree with him on everything. But just I found it boring a little bit.
Match itself was fine. If I'm being completely honest, I would not have put this on this card. What I would have put on there is the 10-man tag that happened on Friday. That Survivor Series style match. With it being, a Survivor Series style match, I honestly really wondered when I watched that match happen, why the hell it wasn't on the Survivor Series card. Because honestly, that's where I would have put it. Nikki Bella was fine. It was a Nikki Bella match. So there's that. Honestly, this was the most predictable match on the card. In fact, sadly, this was the only damn match I got right. Because if it was that predictable that Stephanie Vaquer was not losing that world title. She just wasn't.
All right, y'all. The fourth and final match of the night was the men's WarGames star-studded match, man. And this match had a lot of scary moments, a lot of crazy spots. Like they did a electric chair on Braun Breaker, and fucking he landed very badly in the back of his neck, and I was like, oh shit. And then I believe Brock Lesnar was the last guy to get in from the heel team, and he came in, he fucked everyone up as he, Suplex City, bitch. And I think he just got a little bit overexcited with the suplex, that when he went to pick up Punk for the German, I think he accidentally like landed on top of Punk's head, which also looked really bad. I was like, oh my God, that looked terrible. But yeah, man, because there's so much shit going on in these types of matches. Well, you got 10 fucking people in there at a time. So like, so many things can go wrong, and they did. A few things went wrong, but still, man, it was a crazy match because, what the fuck? It's full of top guys, Cody, Roman, Punk, and we were wondering, okay, how is this going to go down? And Mr. Blood, I feel like you pretty much had it right. I want to say that was Austin Theory that showed up. They wanted to trick us and fool us, make us think it's Seth Rollins. It's not, because if it was Seth Rollins, why would he help the Vision? If it was Rollins, why wouldn't he? I mean, he would go after Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed first, I would assume. So that's definitely not Seth Rollins, but I was happy that the heel team won because I wanted to see either Bronson Reed or Braun Breaker get a win, and Braun Breaker got the pin on CM Punk. Braun Breaker pinned the World Heavyweight Champion, so that can lead to something. But yeah, man, I hope it's Austin Theory. I was waiting until the very, very end of the show after the credits rolled, because I'm like, oh, hopefully we get a big reveal. They show up, they pop him back on screen, and he takes off his mask, and we find out who it is. But nope, it was just a guy in a dark hoodie and a mask. Don't know who it is. It was kind of hard to tell, but I just hope it's Austin Theory.
Yeah, this match was a car wreck, but in a great way. It's kind of weird, right? Like, if I'm talking about the best War Games matches since they brought it back, men's, because we've already done the women's, I think that it's hard to place, right? Because I think the best was easily the Bloodline versus like the Kevin Owens and all that stuff in 2023, because of the drama of can Sammy pass the test and turn on Kevin to like there was so much story in there. And then can Sammy and Jay coexist with each other? And like that to me is still the best men's War Games they've done in the last 3 years. Last year's was awesome. 2023 was still great because it was the return of Punk. And so that pop at the end is insane, right? But when it comes down to it, it's like, I would put this one higher. I would put this at number 2. Had they not, if this is going to sound weird, guys, I think they fucked up the finish. I thought the match was amazing. I was terrified of, and by the way, that spot they did on Braun Breaker was the Doomsday device. It was a callback to the Road Warriors. But like, man, I was worried for him immediately. You can't have him get injured, man. You're trying to build him up. And I know that a lot of us had the fear that Roman and Brock would overshadow Braun. And there were certain parts where I felt like they were giving too much to those guys and not focusing on Braun as much. But giving him the pin was the very, very correct choice, because no matter what, Brock Lesnar and Roman are part-timers. So giving the win in the spotlight to the young up-and-coming talent you're trying to build and giving him a pin over the world fucking champion, that says a lot. That says you're not forgetting about him. And I do hope that is Austin Theory, because he had the shoulder span that Austin Theory does. He stood like him. He had his broadness to him. It felt like Austin Theory. But the reason I think this match doesn't crack the top 2 is because the finish felt like it came out of nowhere. Like, it felt like it happened and ended quick. It felt anticlimactic. You get that, like, I mean, how do I put this? You get that amazing fucking, like, moment where, okay, everybody's down, but then they completely make you forget about the whole opposite side of the ring that's got Roman in it and Brock in it and the Usos in it. And then it's just like, oh, hey, by the way, here's Punk. He gets jumped, stomp, spear. It's over. Wait, what? Where's Cody's right there laying down? Like he didn't roll over, break up the pin. Like it just ended. It felt like it ended extremely quickly out of nowhere. And even the fans were surprised. They didn't seem like they barely popped at the finish because they seemed shocked that was it. I felt like that match had another 5 minutes in it. So I liked it. I damn near loved it. I just think the finish took the wind out of the sails of the match a little bit. And I think it ended this show on a not lackluster, but it ended the show in a very anticlimactic, premature way.
Okay, Blood. So first off, I'm going to correct you on one thing. The Bloodline versus the Brawling Brutes, Drew McIntyre and Kevin Owens, that was 2022.
22. Okay, thank you.
2023 was Judgment Day versus
right.
Cody,
You're
Seth,
right.
Randy. Yeah.
You're right. I
that's also-
completely forgot. My brain was like, we've been done 3 years, but then I'm counting this year. So
yeah.
But thank you.
Yeah. No problem. Anyways, I like the match, but there's just two people in this match that just made me not like it. And obviously, Brock, hate Brock. I don't like him whatsoever. And surprisingly, Cody made me not like the match because as soon as he got in, I'm like, okay, Cody's gonna whoop some ass. But as soon as he's done with Braun and Drew, for no reason, he just elbows Punk when Punk is just busted open, and I'm like, so you go in there knowing that there's only 3 other guys in there. One's on your team and 2 is not. So, and then you're done with the 2 that's not on your team. So you're just gonna I don't know. It just made me mad. I mean, but anyways, the match was fine. I do have another concern is when I don't know if I'm thinking of Women's War Games whenever Lash threw Alexa and it looks like Alexa hit her face on the trash can or but I don't know if it's that one or it looked like whenever Brock F5 Jay for the first time, it looked like Jay landed on his knee really bad. I mean, but then again, I could just be thinking about the Women's War Games when Alexa hit her face. But other than that, other than Cody and Brock, the match was fun.
No, you're right, though. There were a lot of, when Brock got in, there was a lot of very near incidents. Like, I mean, he definitely fucking clacked his head right on CM Punk's face. When he German suplexed Jay the first time, he crammed his head into the table in the fucking corner hard as shit.
Yep, I saw that.
Like there was a lot of instances where it was like he was trying to be safe, but because there was so much shit and people in the ring, he was kind of reckless. Like when he finally belly to back Cody that final time, he finally looked behind himself first before he did. I was like, thank you, before you throw him into somebody. Like I was nervous for injury the entire match. I really was.
Yeah. Even Wade Barrett was like, I would not want to be a part of this fucking match at all. You know, it's crazy.
Especially not with Brock freaking Lesnar involved. Hell no. Absolutely not. But there was a couple moments that I absolutely loved about this match. One of them being when Brock came out. Like, I know it's shocking. It's Brock Lesnar. That was one of them, but that was not the moment I'm talking about, Tox. Like, as soon as Jay did the whole run it back, I'm like, well, he's going to start yeeting all the way until Brock Lesnar comes out, doesn't he? And that's exactly what he did. But the original moment that I was talking about is when Roman comes out. Brock knows that Roman is coming out. So he takes advantage of the fact that the match hasn't started yet. So it does not matter if he steps.
He probably got a phone call or something. I'm willing to bet he did.
I think I know what Tommy was about to say, but I agree with him.
Yeah. That's great.
Am I good now?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Go from the thing about Brock. Start from there so we can edit. 3, 2, 1.
Okay. When Brock stepped in the front to go head to head with Roman, because he knew that Roman was coming out. So I absolutely love that moment because he took advantage of the fact that it didn't matter if he stepped foot out because the match hadn't fully started yet. The other thing happened with Braun Breaker involving Cody. The moment that he looks at Cody, holds him close, and goes, "You will never be better than a Steiner," and then goes back and forth 3 times just to spear him. Holy crap, that moment in itself, I absolutely loved because it called back to literally a week before, just last week, when Cody was talking all of this crap and all of that, and then calls out Breaker, just goes, "Hey, just to remind you, Steiners don't have a good track record against the Rhodes." So that moment I absolutely loved as well.
Yeah, and there
Something-
was a lot of
Oh, sorry. There was something that none of us mentioned here that I thought was really important, and I want your guys' quick thought on it. At the end, Roman willingly reaches a hand out to help Punk off the ground as a sign of respect and a sign of peace. He, however, went to slowly reach for Cody, but Cody refused his hand and got up and got in his face. And then Roman's like, "Are you serious?" And then walks around him, gets out of the second ring, turns around. Cody gets in his face. Roman's like waiting for an apology, and Cody's just like giving him the evil eye. And Roman says to him, and the mic picked it up, "This will be the last time you and I ever team together."
Mhm.
And I thought that was pretty crazy because in my head, I'm thinking they really have teamed together like 2 or 3 times now, right? So I think this is this is 2. And so now I'm thinking like, bro, Roman was willing to bury the hatchet with Punk, but he still refuses. Or sorry, and it's not even Roman. Roman actually went to extend the olive branch slowly, but he was doing it. His hand was like this down at his side. Cody refused the olive branch. And I think that says more about Cody than Roman. Why wouldn't Cody be willing to bury the hatchet with a guy he's already beaten, already bested, already took the mountain from? And now this guy is teamed with you, has his hand out to let bygones be bygones. And now you, the baby face, are refusing to bury the hatchet with your mortal enemy who just went to quote unquote war with you. I thought that was a pretty important story beat.
Because I have a feeling that Cody knows who Roman was talking about when it comes to belt. Because
Yeah, it
Roman
was pretty
looked at both Punk and Cody and said, "That belt would look better on my shoulder." So the question stood which one he was talking about. But I think in that moment, in tonight, we got our answer. Because I think thinking about me, and I'm not letting it happen.
Yeah, well, yeah, that was definitely weird. It was a weird ending with Roman and Cody there in the little face-to-face. And also Punk, too, had a couple comments earlier in the match when Cody jumped in the War Games. He accidentally hit CM Punk, and CM Punk also told him, like, "Hey, don't forget, you got me." So I wonder if CM Punk is going to, like, give him a receipt, Cody, another day down the line or something like. I'm always gonna have that in my back pocket. Whenever that opportunity comes, Cody, I think CM Punk is gonna get back at him, but we'll see.
I don't know, but I'm hoping that that's maybe the first shot in what I'm hoping leads to a Cody versus Punk match, because we haven't gotten that yet, have we? So I'm like clamoring. I don't know about you, but I am like clamoring for Cody versus Punk some point next year. I
Well, if
would
they're still
love to see-
champion, it'd be at Crown Jewel.
I have a feeling that neither of them will be championed by Crown Jewel. I have a sneaking suspicion. Tommy, your microphone and connection is really bad, so I'm going to cut you off there. But I have a sneaking suspicion that neither of them are walking out of WrestleMania with those titles, if they even make it to Mania.
Yeah. But yeah, man, that was WarGames 2025 Survivor Series. That was their review with the Snug Wrestling Crew. We'll be back on Monday to see what happens. The Monday Night Raw after Survivor Series, the fallout of all of these crazy things. A lot of cool stuff, man, to look forward to for Monday Night Raw. So I'm pumped to see what happens next. And until then, let's get the fuck up out of here.
That's going to wrap it up for this episode of Snug Wrestling. Thanks for kicking it with us, guys. We appreciate every one of you for tuning in. Don't forget, we're live every Monday and Friday night right after Raw and SmackDown go off the air on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook for live post-show reviews. And as a bonus for reaction content during the weekly WWE broadcast on all of our socials. Then hang out with us every Thursday night at 9 p.m. Eastern and 6 p.m. Pacific on TikTok Live, where myself, Mr. Blood, and the leader of Snug Wrestling, Edgar, do our weekly one-on-ones where we dive into random wrestling topics and answer your fan questions live. So follow Snug Wrestling on all social media platforms, as well as on Apple and Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. And remember, if you would like to upgrade your eyeglassware game, check out Aquila, AKILA.LA, for 10% off at checkout for any order using the code SNUG at checkout. And don't forget to check out our merch. The links are in our Apple and Spotify and for all of our social media for our TeePublic storefront for over 40 amazing and unique designs created for the Snug Wrestling brand. They're on sale for the Black Friday and Cyber Monday weekends, so check those out and pick up your Snug merchandise and support the podcast today. But until next time, guys, stay safe, stay savage, and stay snug. And since I'm back and Toxic's here, I think that was one time for the one time, huh? Yo. I said that was 4 letters.
4 letters.
One word.
Yeet.